What's up, interwebs? It's your realtor, Jeremy, and we're back for another Tuesday market update. Today, we are going to talk about how you can buy a $15 million house for only $7 million. It's like 50% off. It's fantastic. Anyway, today we're looking at Gold Canyon by request, and I'll explain why it was requested and why we're going to dive into it. But first, let me tell you where Gold Canyon is in case you don't know. Here it is. All those little green dots are houses that are currently for sale in Gold Canyon, just east of Apache Junction. If you've ever gone to hike the Superstitions and gone to like the Peralta Trailhead or the Lost Dutchman Mine area, that is right in the middle of Gold Canyon. If you've ever gone to the Renaissance Festival, it's out there as well. And if you've ever driven to Superior, Arizona or Globe, Miami area, again, you're going to drive through Gold Canyon. So let's get into the numbers of Gold Canyon, then we'll explain why we're looking at it, and we'll get into the silly house that is a really good deal. Wink, wink. Okay, here are the numbers. We're at 358, 754, up from 345, 771 a year ago, so 3.75% change. And then the average days on market, we got 99, up from 98. So 1 day change, I don't consider that much, pretty flat line. If we look at the next graph, we've got red are the active listings. We can see they're starting to dip, and part of that's because our sold listings jumped over to be more than our new listings. So if this trend continues, we could see more of a seller's market, because when the inventory is lower with the buyers increasing, it can tend to shift toward a seller's market, but we would want to really keep a closer eye on this over the next couple months to really know if that's a continuing trend or just a little blip on the radar. Here are your listing prices, kind of all over the map, but generally they trend upwards. Part of the reason they're all over the map is because there is a big price spread out in Gold Canyon. There are multi-million-dollar houses, more than just that one for $7 million that's worth $15 million. Anyway, days on market. I know this graph here has the first point being all the way up at 130 days. Part of that's because the first graphic I showed you goes from April 18 to April 19. This graph here goes from May 18 to April 19. So you got May being a blip there, just like October was a blip on less days on market. So, and then here are the sold listings. Here's the spread. The high point was between 2 and 250, and then these are sold. And then we did have one sell that was between 1.25 and 1.5 million. I don't normally show you this next graphic right here, but this is active listings. So these are all the current listings that are available in Gold Canyon. We see the highest grouping is between the 550 and 750 and the 300 and 400. But I want you to note down at the bottom of the list, we have, let me do my math, 10, 20, 30, 32 houses available in Gold Canyon that are more than $1 million. So you've got some pretty inexpensive houses, but then some like ridiculously expensive houses. So it's actually interesting because you've got these price points that are as high as some areas in Scottsdale, but you have lower price points that are like $200,000 to $300,000. So really good, like this weird kind of combination of high end and entry level all in the same area. So the reason that we're looking at Gold Canyon is because one of my wife's coworkers asked if Gold Canyon was like a good investment like Queen Creek was years and years ago. And his comment was a friend bought a house for like $100,000 and now it's worth like 3-4 times that kind of a thing. And although the MLS data, I can't go back previous to like 2000, I'm not really able to see what Queen Creek exactly was doing, but I'm going to give you some comparisons to not only some current pricing but also some historical data. So this first thing right here is showing the estimated home value. Now these numbers are not just based off, we're not looking at only active listings, we're looking at all of the houses, what their estimated value is, and the average out in Gold Canyon is 304. Over the last 12 months, that's up by about 7%, 24 months up by about 13%, and over 36 months a little bit over 16%. So that's been the growth in Gold Canyon over the last 3 years. This is what Queen Creek looks like over the last 3 years. Average is 384, up 9% in 12 months. I looked at this number and kind of delved into it a little bit more. It's a mildly inaccurate because there was a blip high on that recorded date. So if you're looking at a graph, so anyway, but roughly about 30% over 3 years. So Queen Creek is still appreciating far better than Gold Canyon. And I think the question was asked as a like, if I can get a really cheap house in Gold Canyon, will it be worth a ton in like say 20 years? So I looked back to the earliest data I could get, and if we look at April of 2019, our average sale price is in Queen Creek, now not average like value price for everything that's there, just what has sold, 357,413. If I go back to April of 2000, we're looking at 148,927. So if I do my math, that's a little more than double. But roughly 20 years ago, you were able to buy a house in Queen Creek for $150,000, and then today it will be worth about $350,000, roughly. These are kind of generalizations, and I just want to give kind of an overview of that. So in Gold Canyon, there's not much for sale under 200. The bulk is like in like the 250 range. So do I see Gold Canyon appreciating at the same level as Queen Creek? No. And over 20 years, I doubt I see those same houses that are selling right now at 250 selling for like 500,000. The only thing that would change that is if the development out there booms. Right now, there's just these big open gap areas. There's stuff right by Apache Junction, like as you're going from there, but anything like as you follow Gold Canyon kind of down the 60, to the south and west of the 60, there's nothing. There's just literally nothing until you get to like Mesa and Queen Creek. And then to the east, you do have Queen Valley, but there's still some area that could be developed, but then you run right up into the National Forest. So the only way I could see those areas booming that much to where a house that's worth $250,000 would be worth $500 is if there's a massive, massive boom. So I think your best bet for appreciating value of houses is getting something in Santan Valley. I think Santan Valley is by far the best bang for your buck because you can get something in those low 200s. And I think as the area grows, as we continue with like freeway development out there and stuff like that, I think those are the areas that will increase. Chandler once was that. Chandler was the outskirts. I remember when I was a kid, we'd drive out to go to the BMX track in Chandler and there was nothing. It was just farmland. And these houses, when I bought my house, I bought it for $130,000, and today it's probably worth about $260,000. That was 15 years ago when I bought my house. So basically what I'm saying is you want to go, if you want like something that's a long-term investment, you want to go out, but make sure it's where the development is moving. Because if you're not careful, you buy someplace where the development isn't moving, you're not going to get that same kind of appreciation. So I hope that explains it. Oh, and let's look at that house. Let's look at the super smoking deal house, okay? So I read an article on this house. Here's a picture of it. This house, the developer spent almost $15 million making this house. Here's the lovely view, and you can see the view. It's over 22,000 square feet, so it's huge. But the developer spent like $15 million building it, and it's on the market right now for $6.9 million. So I don't entirely get luxury builders and developers. If you look at some of the other houses, there's some other stuff that's like in the $3-4 million range. But this one is definitely, I mean, look at that view. That view is just fantastic. But that's how you can buy a house for 50% off its value. But anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys from like maybe an investing question or appreciation standpoint. Obviously, if you're going to live in the house, you're going to have some drive if you buy in Santan Valley. But as development moves out there, and it is moving out there, definitely moving, I think that's your best investment over a long-term kind of deal, is buying out in Santan, because you can get something pretty inexpensive. And as it develops, we're going to see those values increase. And I think at some point in the next 15 years or so, Santan Valley is going to look very similar to the way Chandler looked when you compare it for like the last 20 years. So anyway, as always, you guys know that whether you're buying or selling, I'm going to give you a better experience. So give me a call. I'd love to help you out. If you just got a question about your house's value, you're not looking to sell right away, I'm happy to do that for you. I'm not going to bug you to death. Just let me know, and I'd love to help you out. Thanks, guys, for watching. Check in. Sorry for the longer update, but check in next Tuesday as we look at another couple cities. If you got a request, let me know. I'm happy to oblige. Have a great day, guys. Bye.